Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the start of the 2-day journey for 6 competitors to make their way to the top of the charts to achieve their name in the ProPokeBowl Championship Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ProPokeBowl Season 3 Playoffs. God damn, let's try that again. This is the Season 3 ProPokeBowl Playoffs. That's the proper music. What the hell happened? Whoa, hold on. What's happening there? Huh? In a momento. Yes! There we go. My name is ProPokeBowl. Thank you very much for joining us tonight as we begin our ProPokeBowl Playoffs adventure, starting with the quarterfinals tonight. We will have 2 best-of-5s to go through to see who will be moving on to October 25th to take part in the semifinals and the finals. I would like to ask, we have already done the pre-show. We are getting straight into matches. We need to get this going. We need the Pokepace now. If you can all send your Pokepace over right now, we are going to be getting going as fast as we can. I sincerely apologize about the lateness of the start today. My computer went in trying to get some work done. It wasn't home necessarily as early as I wish it was, but that's okay. We're here now. We're going to get this going, so hopefully we can get this done here and now. We have 2 matches tonight, the New York Nidoran males versus the Ottawa Centrets, aka Mitchie W versus Coach Key to Succession, and W Wellington versus the Houston Hawluchas, aka Coach Ivan Valdez versus Coach Inert Fury. It is going to be a blast. If you guys were watching the playoffs beforehand, we were having everything from the draft day streamed all the way down to week 7. I had no idea this entire series has gone for longer than 22 hours, but that's pretty cool. Either way, though. So, yep, I'm going to get yours in a second. Describing yours is not necessarily as important. I need the other 4. Basically, what I'm going to be doing with your pace bins is I'm going to be keeping track of things so that I'm able to keep up a little bit better and have a little bit more analysis throughout the best of 5. So I need everybody's tonight. I'm going to have 1, 2. If Rich is sending it on Skype or on Discord, I need him to send it now because I need it in front of me. I'm getting everybody's, trust me. I've got Diego. Can you send it here, Scrubbington? Can you send it here, Tyler? Alright, here we go. I'm gonna have to do some finagling. While we wait for all of our competitors to show up, currently we're missing 2 of them. I don't know what's going on there, but as a reminder, it will be another 2. We will be going on the October 25th, 7 p.m. to be doing the semis and the finals. Once that's all said and done, the ProPokeBowl will be done for the time being. I've basically decided if you want to join the ProPokeBowl, I've got news for you. After Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon releases, and we have a pretty solid idea of what the hell is this? There we go. Once we have a solid enough idea of the metagame, we will be doing Season 4, and it will be yet another public one. The VGC ProPokeBowl that World Leader was promised as a result of a bet, it will be run in a slightly different way. We will have to do some little bit more finagling for that one. Okay, let's get these printed off ASAP. Yeah, you're there. Come on, do it. Everything doesn't seem to want to work tonight, so we're going to get this going as fast as we can. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Tyler. Well, if you guys want spoilers or don't want spoilers, you're going to get the spoilers tonight in my predictions. I did predict for Lord Scrubbington to take it all, but it's going to depend on a couple of things. As I mentioned, if we look at the top of the bracket, which is somewhere here. Why is this so... Go! If we look at the top of the bracket, you will see that it's more mysterious since these people haven't really played as seriously against each other, but it will be W Wellington versus your Houston Hawluchas going on to the Arizona Articunos. Kind of the mystery mark on that side. But the New York Nidoran Males versus Ottawa Centrets and then go up against the LA Ledians in a couple of weeks seems to be a little bit more defined, but really it is going to come down to that semifinals matchup. We'll really have to wait and see, because even though the New York Nidoran Males versus Ottawa Centrets might be more clear-cut, we're not too sure about that side between Ivan and Rich, so we're going to have to wait to see what's going to be happening. Yes, I did, Ivan. Thank you very much. Why are you not printing? Open the printers. Okay, let's take a look at this. Boop. Cancel. Yes. Cancel. Restart. Ha! Hey, Morty, how you doing, man? If you guys can hunt them down on Discord, literally call and, like, threaten their closest person that they have. Find them. Because it's important. I really don't want to give 2 playthroughs or redo the day. This is the day, and I am already a half an hour late. So I'm really hoping that we don't have to do something stupid like that, where we have to just give away the stuff. Yes, so for those of you who are watching and have not played but want to participate, like I said, Season 4 will be coming out after Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. We'll get some time going in there. December has a special event related to it, and it's going to be taking up all of December. So if I'm looking at a new one, give me a couple of months off. We're looking at about January. We'll probably go in, even if this time the tiers will be good enough for me. If you guys saw the Koro leaks, we're talking about multiple Z moves and stuff like this in battles. We're going to go in no matter what. We're going to have a little bit of a chaotic Season 4, but hey, nothing with a little bit of chaos never made anything that bad, right? Shout outs to Chaos Infinity. We missed that man. Regardless. Yeah, but we're looking at around January, hopefully February the absolute latest, depending on what work looks like and everything like that. But I'm going to try and get that going during the winter time so we can get it going. A lot of people have shown interest, so we'll just be going from there. I can't open anything, Diego. If I could, I would. I can open... Alright, let's give this a shot. In before computer explodes. We're actually running this in 30 FPS. I'm really happy. I'm hoping that Showdown can run with 30 FPS with this webcam, so we'll give this some time. So, as it stands, the way that we generally run this is we give 30 minutes after the stream is open, at which point we do start giving out concedes. However, this is the quarterfinals. I really don't want to give stuff away. Inert Fury with the $4.99 4-month resubscription. Thank you very much, fellow Noobla. Good to see you, man. We have one quarterfinal for tonight. Thank God. Can you get me your paste bin really quickly, please? So I don't have to open up Discord? Well, damn. That's unfortunate. Why aren't you printing? Print. Pause. Resume. Print? No? Attention required. What does that mean? What does it mean when my printer is asking for attention? Sent on Discord? Okay, well, I have to pull it off then, because if you two are battling tonight, I have to grab that. I am printing the PokePaste, yeah. Because I want to actually do a little bit of analysis to highlight them as they're battling so I can keep track of what we've seen. You can mail it over to me if you want, man. It's going to cost you a little bit, but... Everything in the world either is a potato or isn't a potato. On my stream, it's always a potato. Always. What the hell do you mean it needs attention? You're perfectly fine. Look at your face. You're doing nothing. Give me a second. Printer, you're okay, man. Hey, Tank. You ready to print? Let's do it. Nobody made acrobatics that size. Holy shit. Okay, do I have... Okay, so this is Ivan's. Alright. Scrubbingtons I'll grab in a second here. We do need to start right away. I was hoping everybody would be here a little bit faster, but... When I went online, of course. I am late. Technically, you guys are even later. We gonna print this now? We gotta do this. Grabbing riches. Let's do it. Come on. We can do it. Filthy pastebin pleb. Where is Paul Frank? Is he online? Where is he? He's offline. Son of a bitch. Really? Pen and paper. Dear God. All right. See if we can get this. Come on. You can do this. I know you can. If you guys are looking for an explanation of the tournament, you can watch the pre-show because we're going to get right into the battles. What the hell is wrong with this thing now? Okay, now my computer's having some issues. Solid. Okay, here, ready? Here we go. We're doing it. User intervention. What does that even mean? There's no user intervention, please. Cheapest. Oh my. It's time. I do have a second monitor, and I'm doing it right on the second monitor. I'm going to have to, but I can't highlight them. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a piece of paper, and we're going to get right into it. Ivan, Rich, get on thing right now. Do it. You guys are up first. Hey, we do. Look at that. Nice. 1970s. Beautiful. Time to take notes like the old man. Okay. Let's go. Let's get into it. So, we're going to be starting off with the New York, or not the New York Dairy Males. We're going to start with W. Wellington versus the Houston Haluchas. They are the 4th and the 5th seed. They're going to be going towards this victory. And we'll see if either of them can actually take it up. We did say that it's going to be a little bit interesting if it does come against the likes. What the hell? Where's my what? Oh, got me. If it goes up against Arizona Articunos, this man has a good match against all of them. Although, if the Houston Haluchas make it through, they have the surprise on them. So we'll have to see what's going to be going on there. It would be lame if it was a forfeit, and at this point we may have to do I'm okay with rescheduling it as well, but only if he shows up tonight and Mitchie's got to go to bed. If he showed up and he's been ready and he's not, then we're definitely not giving him it, but it would suck if it was a forfeit. When you guys are ready, let me know and we'll get right into it. Ivan, remember, any type of poor sportsmanship just gets you banned from everything else, so don't do it, please. There's no reason to forfeit when you actually stand a chance. We're already in enough heat with this night. Good thing the semifinals and finals will have me 2 weeks. So I just, If I mess that night up, oh boy. Okay, you gonna print now? You should do it. What do you mean you're pending? Okay, cancel that one. Yes. Cancel that one. Here we go. I actually have the paper ready, but just in case this does actually work, print. Attention required with your printer. Why? Why is it required? Nobody said anything like that. So with tonight, I might be off camera so that I could both take notes and commentate at the same time. It's a little bit difficult to not a professional commentator, but nonetheless, we're going to make this the best that we possibly can. Very excited to see what both are going to be bringing out, especially since we said that we already know that Wellington and Haluchas both have a clear strat on how they want to win their games. Houston Haluchas being a little bit more predictable than what we would like, but we'll see if that playoff buff comes through for both of them and helps them both out to get to the semifinals. I'm doing okay, Morty. We actually found some interesting things dealing with my spine, but that would take up too much of the stream. But it is looking like there is damage in my spine. We don't know why, but it's looking like oversensitive nerves, which is actually causing pain from the top of my head all the way down to my left foot. So, hopefully they don't tell me to stop streaming, because they're going to be like, don't sit down too much. And it's like, well, I'd rather take breaks and actually keep this going. But we're actually looking at some spinal damage, potentially. No idea how it happens. It's the weirdest thing. But it's better than sitting there and having no idea. Hopefully it will get sorted out. Boys, let's go, let's go, let's go! I'm trying to get all the battles in here. Fudge backers? I like it. Do not lose the hope, ladies and gentlemen. Do not lose the hype. This is the ProPokeBowl playoffs. Quite arguably one of the more competitive ones that we're going to be having, with 6 fantastically drafted teams with very good players. I'm very interested to see these different styles and actually have kind of a metagame built around Season 3 that's actually going to make this interesting. So, very, very excited to see it. Diego is definitely not my girlfriend. Not in a million years. Even if I swung that way. He would never be in my life like that. Sorry, man. If you marry my sister, I disown my sister. I guess you get what you want either way. Unfortunate. I have no problem with that. Harsh but truth. The harsh truth. Oh, here we go. What am I saying? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Let's actually get into the battles. Let's have fun with this, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the quarterfinals between W Wellington on the close side and the Houston Haluchas on the far side. Let's take a look at the teams that are taking down. We see pretty much what we want to see from W Wellington. What the hell? Wrong camera. Sir, what happened to your face? Hey, there we go. Oh my god, look how clean this looks. Beautiful. But let's see what we're going to be going off with the side of the Los Luchadores. They actually see the Gligar coming in. Very interesting. It was going to take down the Terrakion, so we have a good thing for him going there. At the same time, we're going to see if that Weavile is going to get a lot of value. It looks like so far it can. If this is something like a Scarf Delphox, it's got to be careful still in case it gets hit with a knockoff on a switch in. But either way, we're going to see how it's going to be going from that. But either way, let's see what's going to be going on here, as the timer will be set. Definitely in the quarters and the semis, you set the timer. Definitely set the timer. Cowboy Rich, I love it. But either way, it is going to be a Delphox versus a Rotom lead. Let's see what these Pokemon are actually going to be coming out with as a Delphox. Most likely is just going to go for the kind of switch or stay in here and take the hit. The Volt Switch is going to come out from the Rotom. Wow, this is going to be so hard to do. As the Psyshock actually flies through. Now, Psyshock actually doing a fair amount of damage to my Milotic. That makes me think that it's almost Ooh, but it's not. Okay, so Recover is going to come through as the Grass Knot does just under half, so it looks like this thing has some special defense investment going in with it with the Milotic. So, curiously enough, we are going to see him switch into the Helios, which makes the most sense. The Recover is going to come through. This thing is most likely running Dry Skin, so it's actually not going to be taking any damage from the Scald. So let's see what he can actually do with this. Just checking the camera. Perfect. There we go. Now, Helios does have the advantage. He does have a Celebi and a Gligar to both tank it. I don't think he's going to predict some kind of an HP Ice or anything like that. So I'm curious to see now. This is kind of a standstill. Houston Holuchas are on the back foot to try and make a decision. Might be able to take a hit. If he knows that he has enough special defense investment to take the hits, maybe that he can actually... if he can take enough hits, maybe he'll like take it in. Maybe Toxic this thing, go for Recover. I don't think he will, though. This thing is taking the hits pretty well, though. So it is Scarf Rotom Heat. Ivan is correct on that. Scrafty Milotic, that'd be cool. Topology? Nope. You said Topology, not Go. Either way, though, we do actually see him take that Thunderbolt actually well enough that he can actually get the Toxic off and maybe even go for the Recovery here. Actually, the Recover is really well here because even though maybe he knows he's taking under half, he can keep recovering and now Toxic stalling. So this is a good play by the Houston Holuchas to try and take him down like this and actually keep him on the back foot like that. Uno Momento, your screen's not going to get ruined. I'm a freaking genius. Here we go. I've actually stopped using sticky notes to put your battles down on. I really have stuffs here, so here we go. Battle records. That's not the battle records. Here we go. Ooh, double. Oh my god, it's even double lined and everything. I'm a freaking legend. Here we go. Now, if he goes for the Volt Switch, I'm curious to see what he's going to try and do with the Damager because he knows that a Recover is coming through. He can't set up Terrakion or Manaphy this early. And I don't think, actually, Durant does enough damage here. I think he really has a hard time taking down Smilotic so far with this particular team comp. So, I'm interested to see what he can actually do with this. He's just going to go to the Durant instead, though. He knows the Recover's going to come through. Maybe he knows there's enough damage coming out of this. Could be running Hustle. Maybe some kind of Choice Band Hustle with Durant trying to do enough damage as possible. Or might try and set up a Home Claws here without getting burned. I don't know yet. Durant does have that capability to set up and actually abuse the Hustle stats. So, I'm curious to see what he's going to do here with this. I don't know. I really have not much to say here because we've kind of already seen this matchup, but you know how it went last time. I haven't really got the cheese in Game 1 when they did go for the head-to-head. But we do see him switch out to the Gligar, though, so he actually wants to tank it. And the Iron Head's actually going to do next to nothing. But we do see him lock into Iron Head, so maybe he thought something else was going to come out. Maybe something like the Sableye? I'm not too sure, but he also maybe knew that the Gligar was coming in and just wanted to get the damage off either way. But he is going to have the Eevee like Gligar just be able to soak it up. I expect something like an Earthquake here, just something else like Stealth Rocks. Okay, that is good to know that is actually Stealth Rocker, which means it might not be on his Celebi. It could also still be on his Celebi. I'm very curious to see what's going to be going on with that, so let's see what's going to be going on here. Oh, Scrummington, you resubscribed, man? Did I miss that? Why is it saying you resubscribed? Did you actually? It didn't pop up in my thing. It's showing that you resubscribed and you lost your streak. Either way, if you did, thank you very much, friend. Oh, is the Amazon Prime one? Okay, well, perfect. Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it. Yo, somebody put the timer on. Let's go. This Delphox can do a fair amount of damage, but either way, though, the Milotic is going to come through as the Flamethrower is actually seen on the Delphox. Have a good night, Morning Mark. Thanks for coming out, man. The Psyshock is now going to fly through as we do see the Recover come out. This Milotic is really, really tough for Ivan to get through, and I think we remember this kind of last time where he had a problem getting through this, and I can't remember how he broke through it. He's gonna be doing he is doing a fair amount of damage. Ooh, the Dragon Tail missing. This Milotic really needs glasses. It has missed so many moves in its things. It's ridiculous. Goes for the Recover again. This is really, really tough for Ivan to break through with it. Now the Psyshock's, I'm still surprised though that Psyshock's actually doing that much. Delphox does have like base 108 special attack or something like that, but you expect to do a lot more damage. But the Scald, that can't be Assault Vest because that murdered it. Milotic is going to be able to take out the Delphox, and the Milotic is perfectly healthy. So right now, Rich really, really abusing the fact that his team has that Milotic, and Ivan just cannot break through with it. Only turn 13 in, and already realizing that, like we said, if Ivan does not find a way to answer this in Game 2. He's usually a guy that pops off maybe in Game 2 and can actually get something going there once he has his stats going through. But once he has his information. But I don't know. If I think about his comp, if he can't get through it with like the Heliolisk is doing under half, that might explain why that Psyshock's doing so much damage. He knows that he has the ability to tank all those hits, and at the same time, he's going to be able to just stay in here and keep blasting him, so we'll see. Where's Key to Succession, man? Manaphy is going to come in now. Interesting. So he knows that he can take the Toxic. He can set up the Z. He can maybe set up Z Rain Dance. Maybe start going for some Tail Glows here. And if that Celebi is not offensive, which I would actually think it is if we see the Stealth Rock on the Gligar, it would make kind of sense to take on the Manaphy. But we do know that he likes to run Waterium Z. So if he goes on with that, maybe this might not be winnable for him. I don't know. We'll have to see, though. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt. We haven't actually seen what he's going to bring with it here, so we'll go with it. The Dragon Tail comes out as the Tail Glow is used first, so hasn't revealed if he has the Water Stone on it or not, but we do know for sure that he does have Tail Glow, so he's not going to be able to set up because my Milotic could just go for the Dragon Tail. As the Terrakyon's actually brought in. Would you like to try again? Probably not. That Milotic actually, I don't know how much special or how much defensive estimate it has, but that Terrakion could hurt depending on what type it is. I would assume it's something like Swords Dance, but he could bring a Curveball with Choice Scarf. It says, you know what, Manaphy's done more sweeping than Terrakion does. Maybe I need this thing to be choiced in some way. Maybe I need something else on this Terrakion. I'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt when it happens. But for now, both players thinking about their next move. It's 5-6 right now in favor of Houston Hawlucha's turn 15, game number 1 of the quarterfinals. Winner goes on to play the first seed, Arizona Articunos. But either Articunos? Articunos. I just went Texan. Anyways, Nidoking versus Gligar. Nidoking's got a nice matchup here as he can easily go for the Ice Beam and threaten the Gligar. I do expect maybe Milotic to come back in and be able to tank the hit. Whether or not Ivan wants to predict this is a completely different thing. Does he need the Gligar? I would say yes, because Terrakion and Durant can both kind of have a little bit more fun once this thing is gone. So I'm going to expect that Inner Fury would want to switch. He doesn't want his Gligar taken out this early. He has Sableye to even tank the hits if he wants. He has Rotom Heat that can come in on Ice Beam. Or again, just the Milotic is just such a great answer to Wellington's team. The Thunderbolt is going to come through. That actually has a fair amount of damage. Fantastic prediction on the side of Ivan. take that thing down to the point where it will die to another Thunderbolt. The question is, will he overpredict, and will Rich predict the overprediction and get him down there? Sounds good, T4. Enjoy the show, friend. It's only game number 1. I'm curious to see now if anything's going to be going different here. T-Bolt does end up coming out again, so Ivan just going for the safe play, knows he's in control, but the Celebi's going to come through and outspeeds. So it is an offensive one with the leftovers, potentially, but we have seen him run max speed on his Celebi before. It's just good enough as it is, but the Durant now does outspeed, so he does have to worry about this. The Gligar coming in tank, the hit his Iron Head does come through again. Well played by Ivan. I mean, he's reading the switches, and we know this because we've seen this team up over and over and over again. We know what Rich is going to do. He'll go for that safe play as the Iron Head does come out, and the flinch happens, which means he can't go for that roost, and the Gligar is taken down. That leaves some room for Durant and Terrakion to kind of function a little bit later once that Sableye is managed. But at this point, though, it's getting pretty tense because he doesn't have much to handle all these Pokemon at the same time. This Rotom is Scarfed. So what is he going to do with this? I would say, I don't know if Durant's actually more important or not. It does do a lot of damage if he gets stuff in, but here this does make the most sense as the Volt Switch does come out. Nice play by Ivan. Excellent play by Interfury, though, knowing that he can bring this team, and he's going to be fine with doing so. He's going to be able to have some good times with this. I do expect him to go into Weavile, yeah. Weavile now is in. It's faster than everything. It's going to start trying to get as much damage as possible now, and everything's kind of been softened up a smidge between the rocks and some hits here and there. So Weavile can start going to town. Low kick goes through in case the Terrakion tries to switch in on something like the... What's that? What is it? Brick? Knockoff. Yeah, this thing. You know? Knockoff. This is how you do knockoff, boys. Anyways, Durant now comes in. Have we seen Durant make a move yet? Have we seen him be choiced, potentially? He could be choiced. Ironhead does come out. I'm curious if Durant is actually choiced. I don't think he is the way he's playing it, but again, Durant can't really touch Rotom Heat anyways, unless he's got Stone Edge. He is choice Scarf Durant, though, as we do see the Volt Switch come out, so Interfury predict him to switch, but Ivan stays in, but at this point, you can just go into Milotic and just tank the hit. You can go to Sableye and just stall for a while, get that thing set up and be super bulky. Milotic does end up coming in, does know that it can go for the recover if it doesn't flinch a bunch of times. We'll have to see if he gets flinched. Does he get the flinch? He does not. Rich playing with fire says, not today, Hacks Gods. And Ivan says, I'm going to go all in with this as much as I can. But Interfury knows that he can just heal up to full, so. Ironhead comes through, does get the crit. Does he get the flinch? He does not. Dragon Tail does come through in case the switch. It is going to be enough to kill. The excellent play coming out here from Interfury, recognizing that his team is just really, really good against this. He has brought a really great defensive core here. That Scarf Rotom Heat, though, is something that we'll have to pay attention to for quite some time. The Skull comes through the burn to just add more insult to injury. As that Stone Edge actually did a fair amount, which is good for Ivan to know for the future matches. As he misses the second Stone Edge, the recover comes through. And this is looking bad for game number 1 for W. Wellington. But either way, though, ladies and gentlemen, the Houston Hawluchas will be going up 1-0. Unless he somehow sweeps with the Manaphy. I've said this before, and he could do it, but the Z-Rain Dance does come through as the Toxic is out. But that Toxic is going to be nullified by the Hydration. Let's see, though. Let's not count Ivan out, but it's looking bad. It's looking really bad. Does have a speed boost. If he has Ice Beam, actually, he might be able to take it. Hold on a second. Rich didn't switch. And Rich isn't showing that he has... He knows he can take the hit, and he's trying to bring it in a range to kill it with Ice Shark. Thing is, though, Rich didn't show Haze. Interesting. So the Surfer's going to come through. He's going to kill him off. Did I speak too soon? I don't think so. He's got the speed. He's going to outspeed this. If he has Ice Beam, that's actually could be... Can he take out a +6? I think he can take out +6 Sableye with this. If he has Ice Beam, though. We'll see if he has the Ice Beam, because if he has the Ice Beam, that could be it right here. He's got to think this one through. Unless he has, like, a focus sash on his Weavile, but we haven't seen him run it. We've seen him run Choice Band nonstop. Has Ivan done it? You would be called GG too early all the time. Yes, I do. It's just me. But Manaphy is here to scream and say yippee if he wins this one for W. Wellington. W. Wellington might just be in full control here, depending on what that last move is. But you can see, you can't see it, but I can see the timer. He's thinking out. He's looking to see if he can take the damage calculations. Is the Ice Beam going to come through? If it does, and that's not a sash on the Weavile, it is the Ice Beam. The Celebi goes down. Now there has to be a Focus Sash on the Weavile. If there's no Focus Sash on the Weavile, can the Sableye take a +6 Surf hit as a Mega? I don't know. I've never seen this. Oh my god, we might actually see him take it through. He might be trying to soften him up so he can kill him with Ice Shard, but Mega Sableye does come out. The Surf comes through. It's a one-shot. I think he's done it. Oh no. Weavile does come in. Does this have the Focus Sash? Is this all a ruse just to get the hype going? The Surf's gonna fly out. And is that gonna be it? Ice Shard comes through. It is not enough damage. And ladies and gentlemen, in a reverse sweep fashion, again, W. Wellington takes game number 1. Incredible. He fools me every freaking time. Every single time I fall for it. Does it again. What a master. I'll well to that. Wow. That was something I didn't necessarily expect at all, but hey, the reverse sweep, I'll take it, because that's exactly the type of confidence boost that W. Wellington needs. Why am I not on camera? There we go. Everything's just crashing today. Either way. That's the type of confidence boost that he needs. He is up 1-0 in this series. Fantastic play coming out of Ivan. Like I said, playoff buff. This is what we wanted to see. Where's the Season 2 champion? That's the Season 2 champion right there. He knows his setup. He can set up on that. And the funny thing is, we saw Interfere go for the Dragon Tail, but there's no Pokemon to switch out his stats. So unless he was just trying to get as much damage as possible, believe it or not, actually, that Dragon Tail miss did cost him the game, because if he had just gone for Scald, he would have had the damage anyways that was guaranteed 100% to bring him down with the Ice Shard. And this is what we've seen. This is what we have to see. Maybe he doesn't have a Prankster Toxic Mitchie, who knows? But it's again, we've seen it. We've seen this before, and man. Rich, dude, sir. Oh dear. But yeah, the 2 Scalds there would have been it, because he had no one else to switch in. Just go for the guaranteed damage. But now, Fury knows that for next time that the Ice Shard will do about 16%, which is all he needs to finish that, because he still has the answer to the speed. So, can he clean this up in game 2? Or is this the type of momentum that I was talking about, where if Ivan has figured it out, W. Wellington walks through and says, I know the answer, and he didn't need Play Rough Donphan to do it this time. Play Rough Donphan. But a couple of noticeable things for players in the future, and even players today. That is a Choice Scarf Rotom Heat, and that is a Choice Scarf Durant. So, very curious to see how they're both going to bring this through. They will have some time to make their substitutions, but we'll be getting into game number 2 very soon. Thank you very much for joining me. I gotta stop GGing, man. Because and you know what? Every time Ivan's about to win, I always count him out and be like, yeah, he's down to his last Pokemon. But every time he's down to his last Pokemon, it's the freaking Manaphy. Like, he's always down to that Manaphy. I'm like, yeah, +1 speed, what can he do? And then I do a double take on the opponent's team, and I go, oh, wait, shit, look at that. For lack of cleaner words. Like, oh yeah, hey, he can sweep this. He sets up on the wall. And you know what? This is kind of what we wanted to see Ivan do against the likes of Sweet Tea or Mitchie, where finds that way in with the walls. And we did say that the walls of Fury, of all of them, are the most exploitable. They are the ones that kind of sit out there, and on their own, if they're not carrying that answer, that's going to be it for them. So now the real question is, does he have an answer to this? Might be time to bring that Shedinja. Once we get the game going, we will be getting into game number 2. W Wellington up 1-0 right now. Remember, this is the quarterfinals. They are going in 2 weeks. Face off against Arizona Articunos, at least on this side. For Fury, maybe he's got to do some damage calcs here to see if he could take on that Manaphy a little better, because it did seem a little hasty for the man when he went for the Dragon Tail. I kind of got confused because I'm like, am I missing something here? But apparently I'm not. You know what I am missing, though? A battle. Ladies and gentlemen, we are into game number 2. W Wellington is up 1-0. Let's see if he can take it to a 2-0, or if Fury is going to upset him and go for the 1-1. Let's take a look at the teams that are brought this time. We do see the Necrozma subbing in instead of Celebi. Instead of Celebi. Whoa. And we also see the Shaman coming in. So another answer to that Milotic. Both players recognize, you know what? That Necrozma is going to need a little bit. It's probably going to have enough bulk to maybe take it on maybe something like Assault Vest or its Calm Mindset, so it can take on that Manaphy a little better. Or, you know, just recognize that maybe Celebi is just a little too exploitable between the Delphox and the Durant. I kind of agree with this. But on top of that, we also see Ivan realizing he needs something for that Milotic. He's got the Shaman, which actually means, in my opinion, both Durant and Rotom Heat are going to be incredible factors here to see if he's got to do with it. But it's going to be the Sableye versus the Shaman lead off here. Fury's switching it up a bit. He's going to get this Mega Sableye set up as quick as possible. He wants that Magic Bounce going ASAP. But I'm mostly thinking that he just wants that bulk as quickly as possible. Maybe start taking some extra hits, not have to rely on Milotic so much. Try and keep it as healthy as possible. However, the one thing I am kind of missing here is the Heliolisk, because, you know, Thunderbolt was decent, but we do see something like Seaflare coming out from Shaman. But that Dazzling Gleam does a fair amount of damage, and we actually do see the Expert Belt. Ooh. Expert Belt on the side of the Shaman here, so not going to be able to get that extra little damage, but he ends up going for Psychic, maybe predicting something, but what would he go for Psychic for? It must be a misplay, because I don't know, but that crit Seaflare is going to kind of make up for it. And the Willow Miss, Rich, for God's sake, take your people to an optometrist. Jeepers. Rotom Heat's going to come in. The Dazzling Gleam flies through. Ivan's just clicking moves at this point, but he's doing enough damage. I'm wondering if he's going to actually make the switch out of here now. He knows that this is a Scarf Rotom. He has enough control for this. At least the Heliolisk had Dry Skin, so both of them are kind of weak to the fire anyway. So let's see how he manages his time with this, because I feel like maybe Fury might go a little bit more aggressive with Rotom Heat now, knowing what he's up against. I feel like going for Overheats might just spread a lot more damage that's going to help him actually do enough to actually weaken the team to the point where something like Weavile can just start knocking off to win, or bring everything to Ice Shard range to win type of thing. So everyone in the battle, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are enjoying the quarterfinals so far. W Wellington is up 1-0 after a questionable play again by Inert Fury near the end there. We are going to see Delphox come in now as the Overheat does fly out. Just expecting that right now. Goes for the Overheat as much as possible, but the Delphox is fat enough that it's going to make this kind of moot, but any damage is good damage for Inert Fury at this point. So the Flamethrower is going to fly through. I've been predicting some odd things here. I don't know. He knows that Milotic exists, and I wouldn't stay in here and let this thing die, because I think now, like I said, if he's going to be expecting that Overheat flying out more, maybe Inert Fury can get his head now, go for more Volt Switches, stuff like this. But the Skull is going to fly out. Luckily, he has Natural Cure, so he doesn't have to worry about that much anyways. But now he can actually just click Seaflare. He can do as much damage as possible if he wants. Conversely, I mean, that Mega Sableye was brought pretty low with that crit Seaflare before, but the Rotom Heat is going to come back in. That's a fair amount of damage. I'm kind of liking this Shaman switch. Seems to put down a lot more damage than what you're going to see out of that Heliolisk. But the Volt Switch does come through. Very standard move for Inert Fury here. Reading that he's going to have to switch out here. As the Weavile now comes in, can go for a free knockoff and just take Delphox live. It's okay, Delphox has been lost, but one thing that he does get information on, it's a Focus Sash Delphox. Interesting. So clearly preparing that for something. Can't think of it right now, but Focus Sash definitely was going to help him take some type of hits here. But Durant does come in. We know it's faster because it is Scarfed. We saw it outspeed the Scarf Rotom Heat. So now he can go for maybe, I think, X's or even Iron Head here is pretty good. Iron Head, or he can even make the switch knowing that the Gligar is going to come back in unless Inner Fury starts implementing these mind games that he's sometimes known for. Not lately. He hasn't been showing off his skills with that, so I feel like if Ivan's going to start playing the game, he's got to play the game with Inert Fury, but I almost feel like Inert Fury is going to be the first one to take that step. But either way, Nidoking's going to switch. As we see the Gligar come in, Ivan's saying, I know what's happening here, but no Mind Games coming out yet from the side of the Houston Hawluchas, as Miloric's now going to come in on that Ice Beam. Does absolutely nothing. Nidoking's got... Nidoking's got to do nothing here. Shaman's now coming in. We got to be careful with the Shaman, though. It's losing HP, and he doesn't have a Wish User. But, on the bright side here, again, the Seaflare flies out, does more damage. I'm really liking the role of the Shaman. It's doing a lot more damage than what the Heliolisk was doing. So, on the side of Inner Fury, he's successfully taken out the Pokemon a lot faster this time and actually getting the team more softened up for a potential sweep with that Weavile. Now, interestingly enough, Milotic is going to take the hit very well. This thing has to have special defense investment in it. That's insane. Usually we saw it more defensive, but in this case, he is taking the hit so well against Ivan's team. He's just going to stand here and force him to switch, but the Rotom Heat's going to come out now as the Seaflower does fly through, doesn't get the crit. Unfortunate for Ivan, but Shaman is brought to the point where Volt Switch is pretty much the play. I would go into Nidoking here. I'm a man. Wonder if he's going to do it. He does go into the Nidoking. Ooh! Ivan and I on the same wavelength, as Inner Fury's caught with his pants down a little bit. And he's got to make a switch to a Nidoking shot. Having said that, though, now he can actually decide, well, am I going to take a T-Bolt or am I going to take an Ice Beam? I still feel like Mega Sableye or Milotic would be the answer because it knows it could take the hit decently enough. As the Thunderbolt does come through, does a decent amount of damage. I feel like Inner Fury could take the hit, go for something like the Scald. Although, well, you know what, Milotic is... not going to be set up as easily, I don't think, this time. As the Thunderbolt does come through, let's see what he actually does. He does actually end up going for the Scald. Oh, we're lagging. Face off. Go. Activate 6 scripts. Here we go. There we go. Let's fix it up a little bit. My face will be back on once this thing calms down a bit. But the Nidoking... yeah, Milotic, I guess Inner Fury recognizing that Milotic was set up on before by Manaphy. If he gets a more offensive Pokemon like maybe Necrozma in there while I was trying to go for the Tail Glow Rain Dance, because it needed that time, and it got that time against Milotic. So maybe Milotic showing a little bit of uselessness in this later end of the fight, and it is going to be that case. Milotic goes down, which means Weavile can come in and go for that straight knockoff yet again. This is what the Houston Hawluchas have to do. Take everything low, discover everything. We see another Focus Sash on the Nidoking. Double Focus Sash so far coming out from W. Wellington here. But the Scarf Durant does come in. This Durant is putting in a lot of pressure, which means that Gligar is most likely coming in. But the nice thing is, Iron Head and X's are both super effective. Iron Head's most likely coming out here. We could even see... well, let's see. How much health is this at? 39%? Oh my god. He actually has him kind of in a corner here. Honestly, I don't know. I would maybe go for Iron Head still. I would say X's or maybe to get that Necrozma, because everything's pretty much low to the point where 2 X's will kill it off. But Iron Head will stop that Gligar from just completely tanking it. And it is going to be the Iron Head crit yet again! Are the gods on the side of Wellington? It doesn't look like that much, because Roost is going to come through. That's pretty much what we expected when we saw the Hawluchadors bring this thing in anyways, to tank the hits up. But... Ivan's in a comfortable position here. It's up to Inert Fury to take the next step because he can literally spam Iron Head here. And Gligar's just got to hope he can keep going for Roost. Maybe sneak a Stealth Rock in there. Maybe sneak some damage in potentially. I don't know what he's going to do. But that crit comes through. But Inert Fury says, I know I could take 2 more. Let's get those rocks out. Oh, the hustle. Durant worked a little too hard. Actually got overexcited and missed. As now Gligar can actually go for the knockoff. Get rid of that Choice Scarf. That's enormous for Inert Fury, as now Weavile will outspeed this thing and can go for that knockoff. Actually, no, it can't. I don't know what he's going to do about this, but either way, Iron Head does come through. That Earthquake's going to bring him in range where he will die to a knockoff, as now Gligar's done his purpose. He's going to go for the Roost. As long as he doesn't get flinched to death, he's going to be perfectly comfortable. Just keep doing this. Heal up all day, maybe bait him into something else, but I don't think he needs to right now. Gligar's just going to do the Warlord's work, take out Durant itself, potentially. And now there are more offensive Pokemon left for the Manaphy for Interfering to try and threaten here. Although Tracheon has not even been seen yet this match, so not bad for Ivan either. This match is kind of on a knife's edge here. You really gotta wait for something like this Durant to die, because it could get nasty, but Gligar's most likely going for the Roost here. I don't think he's gonna make the switch into something like Mega Sableye, because Mega Sableye will die since it's weakened. But even if Gligar dies, we know what's coming in. It's gonna be that Weavile. It's just gonna take that life every single time, and now it will be faster than everything else. So even if he went for something like maybe Icicle, I don't know, because if he goes for Icicle Crash, Manaphy comes in. If he goes for Knockoff, probably the Tracheon comes in. I'd say that's worth. You get the +1 attack anyways with that Justified boost. So I don't know what he's going to do with this. Although, that Scarf Rotom Heat is still up. So now Scrotif? What the hell is a Scrotif? Anyways. Mega Sableye is going to end up coming in. It's just going to die. Hey, you know what? Now Rotom Heat can come in and go for that Volt Switch because it knows it's going to be faster. That's exactly what Interfury wants to do. Get that pressure. Go straight into maybe the Weavile. Just to put some pressure and says the next thing coming out is getting hit. But instead it's going to be that Necrozma. That makes me think it might be a setup Necrozma if he's trying to get it in here and now. We have seen most of the moves on Shaman. Maybe he sees, because unless Tracheon's running X's, or maybe he's thinking he can Calm Mind, just take it off. Take it on, maybe? I don't know. It's a Rockruff that's been hit over the head with a, I don't know, whatever Scro is. Shaman's going to come in, doesn't realize the HP, is just going to die. I would have saved that for Death Fodder, honestly, if you know that's going to happen anyways. Death Fodder is always useful in any match. Ivan's just putting the numbers down, says, here's the reality. It's dead. I'm going to Tracheon. Let's try and get this done. If this thing doesn't have X-Scissor, I don't think it's going to do enough damage to kill Necrozma. I think Psychic one-shots from that range. It isn't Necrozma. It's not the strongest thing in the game, but hey, it's still got Psychic. It's super effective. It'll kill. The Stone Miss as a Totemize comes out from Necrozma. That's looking bad. Oh my god. Wow. Is that Inert Fury on the side of W. Wellington? As the double miss comes through, Inert Fury finds the aggressive time. This time, I'm definitely going to say that Inert Fury in the Houston Hawluchas, unless he somehow muddles this up horribly, is in prime position to take game number 2. Evening up this series. We're going to have a longer than a 3-game series. That is going to be a one-shot, but hey, we've got the Rotom Heat. We outspeed. We take those. GG! Houston Hawluchas evens up the series. That excites me, boys. That excites me because you know what that means? We're definitely seeing that both players have learned, and we saw Inert Fury adapt, but this is what we predicted, right? Both players being able to take that game off of each other would be pretty important for both of them, so the question now becomes, I think, honestly, between the two switches, I really do feel like Inert Fury had the better half of that. Bringing that Necrozma, the Totemize Necrozma, that's an interesting one. So, a Totemize, if you don't know, is basically agility, but better because it lightens you, so stuff like low kick and heavy slam. Well, heavy slam will hurt more, but like low kick will hurt less and things like that. But regardless, it's still an agility like thing plus 2 speed. And Necrozma's stats are okay, right? So I really think now it's going to be on Ivan. Of course, our analysis is going to be kind of a little bit lesser because I mean, it's up to them to figure out, not me. It's the quarterfinals. I ain't giving that much. But regardless, let's take a look at this. So, the Necrozma did get a lot more value coming in this, and we did see him mix it up, and we see Gligar being used a lot more, so obviously he's worried about that Terrakion. But I think the team that Ivan brought is not necessarily bad. I do think that he may have slipped up at a couple of spots. I mean, a couple of Stone Misses here and there. It wasn't the biggest deal, per se. I don't know if he knows that he could take it out one shot with Stone Edge, or maybe he knows the damage calc. I don't. But, interestingly enough, there's just been a lot of misses. A little bit of hacks in this series so far, and it's only 1-1. So, holy cow. That would be a thing. However, one thing is for sure, and that's both of them have already adapted, and they still have to take 2 games each. If this goes all the way to Game 5, it's really going to come down to who has made the best adaptation. My question is, does Ivan have more to answer something like this? Because you wouldn't expect Necrozma to necessarily come out. But I'm kind of curious to see if anything else is going to be happening here. We'll have to give it a shot here. We'll see in game number 3. They are going to be 1 apiece. I'm enjoying this series, especially since, like, there was that much, lack of, not trust from the side of W. Wellington, but just kind of like, you feel like there was a slump for both these players. Interfering again, making these mistakes here and there, just kind of, like, game 1 was his, but he went for the Dragon Tail instead of that second Scald. Stuff like that's always been the case for Fury here. The reason why he's the 1/1 king. He's just had these little blips here and there in every game he's done. So if he cleans up these blips and gets in that more comfortable position where maybe he's not so much on autopilot trying to, auto panic, try and get the answer in, potentially he can take this. But, I mean, Ivan isn't a pushover either here, man. They both kind of run from emotions. Interfury is a very calm guy. Ivan I would say not as composed as Interfury can be, but I mean, Ivan doesn't make that many mistakes. Doesn't make as many game-costing mistakes as Interfury has made. I'm sorry, Interfury. I gotta say it, bro. I gotta say it. In front of all of your friends and fans, that you have like, gummed it up multiple times. And against someone like the Arizona Articunos, that man will eat you for dinner. And breakfast. Maybe a little bit of lunch. Maybe a midnight snack. I'm gonna drink this tea. And then he's probably going to have bits of you ground up in that. Because, hey, they pick on those. There's usually a lot more hype going on here, but it's kind of quiet. Can I get some hype in chat, please? I need a little bit of hype from all the lurkers. Lurkers, everyone, by the way, who has been following during the rebroadcast. If you guys didn't know, we are doing rebroadcasts during the EU times. I do appreciate each and every one who comes out to check out this tournament. Of course, you will know when the next ProPokeBowl is going. We're going to be doing a little more advertising to try and make this aware. But thank you very much to everyone who makes this a fantastic show. And it's a great part of the channel. I'm really, really excited to see this only grow further. And as I am a wonderful staller, let's get into game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3. W. Wellington and the Houston Hawluchas are tied. We see yet another switch up. Ladies and gentlemen, that sub that I kind of questioned, Ampapom, is here, as well as that Donphan, taking out even more of the problems, being that Delphox and the Durant, honestly enough. I like the Durant, but Ivan says he has something else in store. But here it is. The Ampapom is going to make its appearance as we see Interfering not switch anything. Again, why fix what ain't broke? This man's been known for this, and he won. What makes him think he needs to make this switch? I think the Necrozma still has a good matchup against those two. I think his team still has a good matchup against the likes of W. Wellington. But let's see what he's got. It's going to be that Donphan versus the Sableye. Now, of course, the Sableye is going to have the Magic Bounce. If Donphan is the sub-play rough one yet again, oh my god. It's not this time, as Willows does come out, but it is play rough. Yes. Oh, beautiful, as the play rough does come out again. Sableye's taking a bunch of damage, does end up going for the knockoff versus take out the leftovers. Unless it's a crit, he will be able to go for the cover on the third play rough. It's not a crit. Sableye will survive. Unfortunate, because it would have been super cool to see. It would have been funny to see that cheese yet again. This man's bringing it, by the way, all the way through to the finals. Not that Donphan can't run play rough. It's just not usually its optimal situation. But because Mega Sableye's been able to heal stuff off, it's basically been like nothing has happened this game. That crit knockoff is just going to speed up the process of that burn, taking down the Donphan. So either way, he's just going to try and do as much damage as possible. You can just keep going for recover. At this point, Ivan's already said I've already said this Donphan's dead because he didn't get the cheese going, but the Gligar can come in now. It can just set up the Stealth Rock, so this thing is going to slowly die to burn. If it's running Play Rough, it means it's most likely not running Ice Shard, so we're going to be looking for a pretty good situation, or a pretty good time here. Oh, he makes the play! Inert Fury playing with his food makes that switch into the Mega Sableye. Fooled me too, trust me. I freaking forget that all the time too. I hate Magic Bounce. As a player, I hate playing against Magic Bounce. But he does get him. This Donphan is just being set up all over the place. Most likely just going for that recover. And it's like the game has started Ivan down 6-5 already. Nothing but hazards and a full health Mega Sableye being put here. Cheese only you'll see in the quarterfinals from the meme master himself, Mr. Inert Fury. But not to fret. I mean, the Donphan obviously didn't do the work. I do think that the Durant still would have been better pressure. I'm really curious to see the moveset on this Ambipom, right? I really do want to see what it's going to be doing, so I'm interested to see what it's going to do in this particular matchup anyways. We know Ambipom does get the Technician Fake Out, it does have Taunt, it does get Nasty Plot, like it gets all these weird things. It does have the, luckily it does have like the double hit Technician type of hits here with Stab, so it's not the worst thing. It's just the thing is its purpose is so unilateral and kind of pointless by Gen 7 that it was a bit of an odd pickup. And I would have liked to see something else he didn't use on a Steam sub instead of the likes of the Kricketune with the Sticky Web. But regardless, that's in the past now. This is the quarterfinals. He's in the playoffs. He's stuck with the Handyman. As Shaman's now going to come in against the Mega Sableye. Just goes for Protect. Let's scat and see what he's going to do. The Psychic comes out again. I'm very curious to see why he's going for Psychic. But the Dazzling Gleam now does come out as Knockoff's going to come through. Knock off that Expert Belt. Does take that damage again. He most likely can take another hit unless he gets crit. But he's going to go for the Seed Flare. Very nice play, actually, by Ivan, because there is that big chance of getting the Spadef drop, and he does get it. So now, we're probably going to have to see Rotom Heat switch in and take the hit. But it has a lot of health this time, but the Psychic now flies through. Good play by Ivan. Does get a little bit more damage off there. Psychic does 90, Seed Flare does 180. So it would have been the same thing, but Psychic is 100% hit. Ivan goes for the risk, but unfortunately, Shaman is taken down. So unfortunate for Ivan. He doesn't have that pressure against the Milotic, so this is looking really bad for him so far. Ampom's going to come in. Ooh! Substitute. Okay. So Ampom ends up going for the Substitute. What are we expecting from this? Knockoff will take out that Substitute. Is it Sub Nasty Plot? Please tell me it's Sub Nasty Plot. Please tell me it's Sub. If it's Sub Nasty Plot, I will thoroughly enjoy that. But sub to dodge the Will-O-Wisp, make him take an extra turn. Usually if you're going to go for the sub, like we saw the sub last time with the Donphan against Inert Fury because it blocked the Will-O-Wisp and they could go for like 2 really painful play roughs. But I don't know what the Ampom gets. Does Ampom get play rough? I imagine it would. It's got 2 hands. Like, that's abusive as hell. Unreal. It's sub nasty. That's incredible. So, this guy gets stuff like Shockwave. This thing gets stuff like Shockwave and Swift and stuff like that. I don't know how much damage he's going to do here. He actually goes for the Thunderbolt. Interesting. So I would have actually, if you think about it, Shockwave hits 100% of the time, but he is going for that maybe little paralysis chance. The Ambipom is going to lose it. And we see the Shadow Ball fly out. So substitute Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, and Shadow Ball. No stab, but instead just has those strong moves. He's probably still running Technician. But either way, it's going to get outsped. But it did take out the Mega Sableye, so not the worst thing. But it is 5-3 right now for the Los Haluchadors. Houston Haluchas looking to take 2-1 on this series in a very dominant fashion. But not so much necessarily by how he's played it out. It's more or less, I think there's been a kind of weakening in W. Wellington's team right now. Tracheon is going to come in. I know, Syedge, I put the best one. I might switch them around. I don't know. But everybody people still like the Pro Poke S, so Either way, though, we're going to see Terrakion try and do as much as they can. The Roost comes out. At this point, it's Manaphy or bust. We've seen it before, and, I mean, the problem here is that's Ice Beam and Surf, which means Milotic hasn't even been touched, so he doesn't have to worry about using it because, I mean, Milotic can just come in, tank a bunch of the hits. As long as it doesn't get set up on again, and as it's in the rain where it can't go for Toxic, we'll have to be careful with that, but Earthquake is going to come through. Terrakion really can't do much here, although I am seeing that this thing is not trying to do anything else. It's been going for the same attack, so I'm curious if it's choiced in itself. Nidaking's gonna come in now, but Earthquake could fly out. As we actually see the Roost come through. Interesting. I thought you'd just go straight for the Earthquake there. But we see him click Roost the second time. Maybe trying to PP stall so he can get something like Necrozma in to set up the Autotomize. That would make sense. Milotic now comes in. Ice Beam comes through. Doesn't do any damage. Gets the freeze. Doesn't happen, but it's still a Scald, so it can break out instantly. We already know how much damage this thing does with T-Bolt. It's not going to be enough for 2 shots. Unless he gets a crit on one of them. Not enough to do it, as Dragon Tail actually comes in. And Terrakion is forced out, so Milotic probably going for Recover. By the way, Inert Fury has like the most Pokemon with Recover or Healing moves that you've ever seen on a defensive. This is his defense strategy, right? His defensive play comes through this just like literally whittle you down by being healthy, right? We've said there's differences here, right? LA Ledians wins through kind of an offensive defense. We see Mitch just have a super solid defense between Aloma, Mola, Registeel, and Dragalge. And then we see Inert Fury here just having really fat bulk, right? LA Ledians win through hazards. Mitchie wins through straight bulk. And then we see Inert Fury just win through just, you know, having the ability to switch through and just, you know, get his Pokemon healthy enough and whittle down slowly that he can just bring in a sweeper and win from there. And that's similar to what Mitchie is, or Mitchie's strategy is as well, so I mean, at this point, is there much else to say? Milotic's been taken out, but Necrozma gets the free setup here. It has the +2, and if we know anything, it's going to probably outspeed that Manaphy with +2 speed, because I don't know how much speed does it actually get. 282? Yeah, that thing's outspeeding the +1 Manaphy, so it's looking bad. He might go for the +4, maybe. I don't think he would, though. The Stone Edge does come through. That's a Scarf Terrakion. That is a Scarf Terrakion. How many Stone Edges does he have left? None. So that was his last move. Ooh, that was his last move. I wonder if Close Combat would have killed from that range. Because if he could go for Close Combat, that would have been a little bit better. Either way, that Gligar was going to come in, but ooh. Knockoff, I don't know. Maybe he keeps Terrakion in struggles? You see the Rotom Heat come through anyways. The struggle does end up coming out as I predicted it would. But now Rotom Heat can come in. It's going to be faster, so it can go for the Volt Switch or even a T-Bolt. But it's just going to get that much damage. Oh! A crit to boot. And that's going to be 2-1 going to the Houston Haluchas. 1 game away from October 25th on twitch.tv/ProPokeNoob in the semifinals. My face showed up again. Yay! I gotta put a game 4 in. I love when I have to put a game 4 in. Honestly, I'm not a fan of those switches that Ivan brought out. I'm really not. I do feel like he weakened his draft a little bit there, bringing both that Ambipom and the, again, the Play Rough Donphan, right? It's gonna work, but the thing is, it concerns me because, yeah, that was a good idea, but what about the Durant, right? If he has 2 Choice Scarfers on his team, I think that kind of would have done him a little bit better this time, honestly. Because it did feel super winnable for him if he didn't have that Ambipom, to be honest. So, maybe keep the Donphan? I don't know, but Rock's pressure would be great, and I do think that Durant needs to come back. I really feel like that was the thing that W. Wellington used to great success, so maybe he'll make that switch. I don't know. That's my personal opinion, though. We'll have to see if he actually makes that decision when we go into game number... Hello? Game number 4. I'm pushing the button looking away, because I usually, I'm looking at different things whether I'm on or off camera. I'm just turning my head like, yeah, we didn't switch. Here we go, though. 2-1 up for the Houston Haluchas, 1 game away. But W. Wellington, again, we've seen it, and my prediction was this was going to go maybe a 3-1 either way, so hopefully I'm wrong so we can get a full 5-game series regardless of the winner. I think this has actually been quite an even matchup, even with Inert Fury now playing better in Game 2 and Game 3. It's really on Ivan here, right? He has the potential to win because we've seen kind of like he's literally 1 or 2 turns away or 1 or 2 hits away where he could just sweep with Manaphy, right? Or he's one Pokemon off in his draft where he could just take out my Milotic and sweep with Manaphy, right? Manaphy is that sweeper, and with that double Scarf, I think he had a lot of pressure there because I like the Durant going for Iron Head against the Gligar if he had to, like, just keep putting that pressure down and stuff like that. But the other thing is, one thing that I also like is the fact that, you know, it's just safety for Ivan, right? He didn't have to worry about switching into proper Pokemon because he knows he's going against these super bulky Pokemon that he wants to set up against, but at the same time didn't. So, you know, Dragon Tail is on that Milotic, and that's probably for future matchups for him. He realizes that Haze is not going to help him as much as Dragon Tail could. And knowing he's up against Arizona Articunos, yeah, that's going to help him against stuff like Z Conversion, maybe Ghost-type Porygon Z if Scrubbington decides to bring that out again. It's going to help against that Feraligatr. Like, Haze is just not going to do it because he can take damage in between turns. He can't really threaten that Pokemon as much, so this is Ivan's opportunity, though, to know that, hey, you know what? I can abuse the fact that he is prepped for future matches. And like we said, standard play, everything looks a little bit more even, which is the most interesting thing about the playoffs in itself, other than what people see and prepare for, right? We know that LA Ledians and Scrubbington and the Arizona Articunos are looking at these matches right now and going, especially for Arizona Articunos tonight, they're looking at this going, okay, Inert Fury's got this, this, and this. I got to look at my team and see what I handed in to see if I can do this, right? So, whether or not he can pull that off, it's going to be up to him. But that's their research, not mine. Saves me the trouble. We'll have to see. Making their final switches for game number 4. I'm really glad I can run the tournament at 30 FPS. I'm going to start testing certain games, see if I can up the frame rate a little bit on them. I know with, I think with Nuzlocke, I was still lagging on 15. So I think I'm going to keep that at 10, but at least the camera won't be too bad. So that's one thing. But with PTCGO, I should be able to do 30 FPS with this camera, which would be really cool if we could do it. But ladies and gentlemen, this is game point. This is match point, series point. Can the Houston Haluchas take it home right now, 3-1, or will W. Wellington bring us to a game number 5? It's do or die for Ivan. We see a Honchkrow and a Glalie, and the Celebi coming back. Inert Fury is now bringing out the roster. Hid this the entire way, but we see the Florge come in with Ivan, so bringing 3 different teams already, demonstrating that he knows what he wants to bring and what he's going to be aiming for here. This is curious, but let's see what's going to be going on here. The Durant is back on here. We actually, Ivan brings up a very interesting point here. There is no Weavile. Honchkrow is the Dark Sweeper. That is a surprise to me, but at the same time, Weavile hasn't really won him the match. It's just, you know, been doing its job, I guess. What's really been winning him is the fact that he's able to wall out and maybe just stop the tanks. And Necrozma was winning, so the fact he takes it out, maybe he knows the Durant's coming back in, so he brings in something like Honchkrow or Glalie and says, I can take these hits slightly better. Having said that, though, what is his plan then? So what's on this Honchkrow and supposedly Mega Glalie that would make this interesting? Yeah, no Shedinja. That's the most surprising one there, Scrubbington. The fact that he didn't bring out Shedinja. Can I even hit Shedinja? Yeah, if he had like Shadow Ball and Nidoking. Delphox. Either way, though, it's going to be Nidoking versus Glalie. Ooh, Glalie can outspeed here. We know this is a Focus Sash Nidoking. But Glalie might be carrying some kind of spike support potentially. Maybe try and get some extra hazard down because he's seen that hazards has been kind of killing Ivan a bit and he hasn't gotten rid of them quite often, so, or at all, really. I'm curious if he's just going to go for like this enormous return hit, but he's got to be careful because Nidoking Actually, I don't know if Nidoking can kill him, because Glalie will be faster, might be carrying Ice Shard and stuff like this. I'm really curious to see. He didn't bring Freeze Dry last time on his Glalie, so I'm curious now to see what he's bringing for the playoffs, right? Because we haven't seen him play it very much. He didn't bring the moveset that I thought he would bring, right? He brought the Explosion last time with the return. I think he brought, I can't remember what else he brought, but Earthquake and something else. I would assume this would be some kind of standard Glalie set. But if he wants that Freeze Dry for maybe bulky water Pokemon, it's there in his power if he's brought it, right? If I think to Scrubbington's team or even the LA Ledians or New York Nidoran males, I don't know. We are going to see him switch into the Milotic. Knows he can take the Sludge Wave is going to come through. If he gets the poison, it'd be great, but he, doesn't. Now, luckily for Ivan, Thunderbolt only would have done a little bit more, but it's nice for the Haluchadors here because they can take the hits quite well. They can go for the Recover, although that Recover is going to allow a free switch into Shaman, so Ivan taking a dominating lead already in turn 3 here, just having a little bit more pressure already. So that Glalie didn't Mega Evolve and didn't attack, maybe knowing because it had the Focus Sash, but at the same time I'm kind of curious if it's even a Mega Glalie or if he's waiting for some type of situation to get the base 100 speed up or maybe to get that surprise Ice Shard off. I don't know yet, but either way, it makes me almost think that he's carrying Ice Shard if he's gotten rid of Weavile, because priority would be important against maybe a Manaphy late game. Or like the Scarf Terrakion or the Scarf Durant. But either way, Shaman's now in. It can spam that Seed Flare yet again. Seed Flare actually is better, in my opinion, to go for against even maybe the Rotom Heat, because in my mind, yeah, they both draw special defense, but it's a 40% chance in exchange for potentially missing. But at the same time, that damage on the Rotom Heat, I mean, it doesn't matter. Now he's got the Florge especially, so it can take the hits, but it's just going to be Volt Switched on. Unless it's something like a Combine Florge. That could be something, because the funny thing here is Dragon Tail doesn't stop Florge. That could be the reason, but Seed Flare does come out against the Celebi. It drops the defense. Now, we did see the Celebi have max speed before, so this would be a speed tie if they go for it. Although I don't know if Celebi would be carrying something, unless it's carrying like Signal Beam. And I don't think it one-shots a Shaman. These things are both at 100 across the board. Let's see what the Celebi wants to do. We saw it have leftovers. We saw it have max speed. As Fury and most standard Celebis, I guess, do bring these days. It's usually either offense or has like max HP, max speed. This Pokemon's actually like the one defensive Pokemon that's kind of like, you know, it's 4 times weak to U-turn or just bug moves in general, and has a lot of weaknesses, but it's got the bulk that can take enough things that it likes to run max speed for the most part. The Seed Flare does end up flying out here against the Rotom Heat. This is okay, gets the damage off of the Rotom Heat, gets out, protects the Shaman. He now has a Florge, so he doesn't have to worry as much about taking this, but Inert Fury takes my advice again, just says, yeah, screw it, do as much damage as possible. There's a lot of damage actually to Florge. The reason why I say that Florge has a lot of special defense. But now Milotic's going to come in as the Toxic comes out. Now, this is a double-edged sword because, yes, there's status on Milotic. We don't see anything that could refresh unless he has refresh on his Milotic. But it does give him the Marble Scale active. So, it works out in the sense that he could tank stuff like Durant and Terrakion a little better. But at the same time, it is a Toxic on Milotic, right? So now his wall has been restricted a bit. And I honestly wouldn't trade status here. He could even, oh man, if he predicts a Toxic to come out again, he could go into something like Durant or even Manaphy or even Shaman now to absorb that status. I'm liking this game plan from Wellington. I do definitely like it. The Shaman is going to come in on the Scald. Well played by Interfery to recognize that it's probably going to be something like that, so Scald makes more sense. Milotic's not going to stay in on a Shaman, so Ivan, again, getting a lot of pressure with the Shaman. I'm liking this team comp, actually, from him. And with Interfery, but I also make me feel like that's why the Glalie is here, right? Celebi is taking the hit well enough. Who's Le Goat? Anyways, it does get the Spadef drop yet again. He's keeping the pressure, though. I'm liking this. This is very interesting. I mean, the switches of Mega Sableye and Weavile in exchange for the Glalie, it really makes me think that, one, that Glalie has Ice Shard, or has something else. He might be going, like Ivan said, for the Sucker Punch with Honchkrow, but maybe it's a Scarf Honchkrow. I don't know. Or we've seen him run Z Tailwind before, right? He hasn't used any Z moves really on his Pokemon yet. So I would imagine it would be Z Tailwind, Moxie, or Super Luck Honchkrow. Because I think he gets the Focus Energy, so probably Super Luck Honchkrow with that. But I don't know, like, do I like the switches? I guess I gotta let it play out. I mean, it's not bad, but I feel like the Necrozma did so well against Ivan. Maybe he knew something like Florge would come in or another specially defensive Pokemon, because Ivan did have that option in his comp, right? But the hidden power, I guess, Fire is going to come out here as the Psychic comes through, actually. Psychic, I guess, predicting that Rotom Heat, but again, C-Flare just hurts, right? And now he's actually lost that pressure, because it did even less than what a resisted C-Flare would have done, right? But right there, he wins the speed tie, unless that's not a speed bonus Shaman. He is going to make the switch down to the Rotom Heat, as that C-Flare is now going to come out. Rotom Heat's taking a lot of beatings here. Maybe he'll try and go for a trick to try and get some damage done to the Shaman, but I don't think he wants to make this thing Scarf, because that thing will just wreck through him if Honchkrow is gone. So I really do feel like it's just going to be another Overy here. Try and get that Florge down as low as he can, and then proceed to try and kill it off with other Pokemon, maybe like the Glalie. Because at this point, there are a lot of special attackers that are, well, like the offensive Pokemon are a good mix. But in terms of wall fights, Florge will win with Toxic Stalling. So the Florge will come in. That Trick actually comes out on the Florge. Ooh, yeah, that's right. I just said Trick, didn't I? Yeah, Florge is boned. Okay, Florge just got tricked. So now it has a choice Scarf. The one okay thing for Ivan is he now has Scarfed Moonblast for Honchkrow. So he can at least put that to use. But I do think that Milotic is now coming in just to tank up the hit. Or the Gligar, that'd be good too. As we actually see the Witch come out from the Florge, so this kind of makes sense so that he can switch into something that might take an Earthquake or a knockoff or stuff like this. I'm very curious. I'm pretty sure Stealth Rock's coming out. I don't think Inner Fury wants to knock off the Choice Scarf on the Florge. So Choice Rocks? Stealth Rocks would make the most sense here. Don't lag again. Come on. You could do this. You could do this game. Attaboy. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Stealth Rocks coming out here, but he knows he's stuck into Wish. He can at least heal up the Florge even if the Rocks do come out. Rocks don't hurt him incredibly hard, but it's just nice not to have him against you, not for free either, right? You want to threaten the Gligar. He is going to make the switch into the Shaman. Actually, I kind of like this, as the Glalie now comes in, but you know what? That Wish onto the Shaman is going to help a bit. He's going to make the double switch down to the Durant as the Mega Glalie reveals itself. Double Edge does nothing to that Durant. What? That did nothing. That's Refrigerate boosted too. Glalie, come on, man. Like, literally a thing with a mouth like this does no damage to a freaking little steel ant. Okay, then. We see a triple switch, though, of the Nidoking as we actually see him switch out into his Gligar. I like that from Ivan. Well played, actually. That's actually a very good prediction on his part. You know, got fooled by the trick. Now he gets to fool the Gligar. Ice Beam is coming out, and the nice thing is, hey, Milotic comes in. It's got the Toxic on it. It's not going to stay in for very long. So Ivan has the pressure. No Rock set up yet. We are turn 17 into game number 4. Houston Alucha's looking for that final win. Whereas Ivan is saying, no. Well, I'm still in this series. What is he going to do? He's actually make the switch. There's a bunch of switches coming out as Milotic is going to come out. It just makes the most sense. The nice thing here for Inert Fury, though, is that he's going to be able to go for the recover and hope the guy doesn't get crit. He didn't. He gets the recover off. The Toxic will start to take a toll, though. I feel like he's going to try and get Gligar in again, but I think it's too risky here. He's just losing a lot of pressure. The Skull comes through. Doesn't do enough damage to take out the Nidoking. So Milotic is consistently getting worn down here. Milotic is going to fall, but Nidoking is in a spot where it will just die. Oh, nice switch up by W. Wellington there. Well played. I mean, that's what you do. You switch up the thing that'll hit the most, does take out the Celebi. The Glalie's now going to come in. It will outspeed. It can maybe go for Ice Shard. I don't know if I would reveal Ice Shard because he will be faster since we know Nidoking has the Focus Sash and Glalie is 5 base points faster. Unless he's not running it, but he does indeed reveal the Ice Shards. That's important information. Double Edge and Ice Shards so far on this Refrigerate Mega Glalie. Of course, it's Refrigerate and Mega Evolve. Ha. But it is good information for the future to note this Glalie does carry the Ice Shard, so maybe he did switch up for more of the priority Ice Shard on the Glalie and the Sucker Punch on the Honchkrow. Maybe that's why he's looking to win this against the double Scarf threat that Ivan has brought today. But now the Durant can't come in. That Ice Shard might just fly out, trying to do as much damage as possible to that Durant. But something's going to have to take a hit here. And it's not going to like it either. Iron Head can be spammed to all hell. I feel like he goes for the Ice Shard so that Sucker Punch would do enough damage, but Gligar instead is going to come through. It's going to take the damage. This still makes sense, though, because the Gligar hasn't been hurt. And he's obviously saving that Gligar. He really is, I think, preparing for that finale of the Manaphy to try and get the double hit off with Ice Shard and then Sucker Punch with that Honchkrow. If it is Moxie, that Sucker Punch is going to hurt even more, so we'll see what ends up going with. Keep in mind that Florge is still Choice Scarf, so he's kind of lost that option. But luckily for W. Wellington, they've done enough damage to the Rotom Heat that it doesn't have to always be that Florge being the answer now, right? It's going to eventually have to come in and maybe take a hit, or it's only going to get 1 or 2 more shots in. Manaphy now comes in as the Roost comes out. I like this from Wellington. He's going a little aggressive here. Knowing that the Gligar really can't hurt him, he can set up rocks, but that means Manaphy either goes for Waterium Z Rain Dance, or he can go for the Tail Glow and say, high damage. Although he does have to be careful. If Earthquake comes out, this might be what Interfury wants, because he can bring it in range to die to Sucker Punch plus Ice Shard. So he does have to be careful with this type of sweep. He can easily just threaten with something like a Surf. How much health is on that Milotic? Milotic will die from that after Poison for sure. Rotom Heat can't take it. Honchkrow can take it, but not well. And the Glalie, maybe, I don't know, but Meg Glalie is going to take it. Here we go, though. He does end up going for the Waterium Z Rain Dance, so he is trying to get this set up and ready to go. But I do feel like if he goes for the Tail Glow, I think an Explosion might come through, which might be bad for W. Wellington, because Manaphy really does sweep through Interfury's team. Is he afraid of that? I think he just tries to go for the kill here with Surf. I think the rain just makes this game more epic, because I do think W. Wellington is on the cusp of taking this to a Game 5. I don't think you want him. I don't think he sets up. I think he attacks. I'm really afraid if he goes for Tail Glow and an Explosion comes out. Scrubbin is going to eat that up, though. He knows that Explosion's on this thing. That's a triple Ice attack on Glalie. Hasn't even shown if he's got Earthquake, but he knows that he has Ice Shard. Double Edge. We haven't seen Return. It might be on there, too, but Double Edge makes sense if it's going to replace Return. What's going to come out here from the side of both players? If Interfury just wants to get damage off and predicts Ivan not to set up, probably Ice Shard comes through just to do any damage to this thing. We know the full moveset. Rain Dance, Waterium Z, Tail Glow, Surf, Ice Beam. Milotic's not healthy enough. This thing sweeps. That's scary, man. It's at +1 speed and everything. I don't even think Honchkrow... Can Honchkrow take the hit in the rain? I think it could have taken it out of the rain. Can it take it in the rain? I think this is a phenomenal switch from Wellington. He does end up setting up the Tail Glow as Double Edge comes through. Doesn't do a lot of damage, so... He does end up getting away with that damage, so maybe Sucker Punch can kill from there if that's a choice band Honchkrow potentially. The Surf will come out now. Manaphy is set up. This is Ivan's time to take it, though. I think Honchkrow has to kind of come in and show whether or not he's going to be able to take the rest of this match. We got to see it. If he can, I don't think he can live +3. I think Ivan just took it. By setting up and not seeing something like an Explosion, I think he just goes for the Surf here. It might be able to live a Honchkrow Sucker Punch, unless it's Choice Band and takes it through. It doesn't. It dies. It went for Tailwind, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. He quits! And that's it. He knows he's been licked. Silver Scrapes, boys. We're going to game number 5. Oh my god. Manaphy valuable Pokemon is right, T4. Unbelievable. This is insane. This series, I'm going to say it right now, has turned out to be much more interesting than I thought it would. I'm going to flat out say it. I thought it would be something like someone just figures out how to take out the other and goes from it. But this has evolved into multiple different teams, multiple different strategies coming through. Like, these guys are playing off of each other's current strengths on their roster, and they brought it all the way to game number 5. This is amazing. And we see the playoff buff, right? The playoff buff is here. We're not worried about Ivan being unconfident anymore. He goes back to what's working. He took the team. He took the floor. That ended up working out well against that Rotom Heat. It almost makes me think that I feel like at this point, if Inert Fury wants to take this, he goes as aggressive as possible. I think that overheat play worked well when that flourish didn't exist. But honestly, I think Ivan found the team. I really do think he found that team that's going to help him. And I don't know. I think it's on the Hawluchas here to mix it up. Because dropping the Necrozma was suspect, in my opinion, because that's been getting Ivan thrown off multiple times. He sets it up, just does a bunch of damage, right? It takes out the Scarf Terrakion. With damage, it's going to take out the Scarf Durant, right? Depending on what hidden power it's running, right? If it's even running a hidden power, most likely is. But, like, this is pressure time, I think, for Inert Fury. Ivan's got him in the bag at this point, right? This is almost like what happened in Game 2 between Arizona Articunos and LA Ledians, right? LA Ledians look so dominant, then all of a sudden this one switch comes into the Flygon, and suddenly, oh, wow, Ledians get set up on and lose. And for Ivan, I think the winner was the Shaman. I think the Shaman really is a big improvement and is giving Inert Fury a rough time. I wouldn't be surprised if the Miltank came out. If that Miltank comes out with Sap Sipper, that's going to be the answer to Shaman. I really do think. Now, depending on its build, he's usually running it a little bit aggressive. Sometimes running it with Assault Vest, sometimes running it with Leftovers. It definitely doesn't have a Stealth Rocker unless it's looking for a second Stealth Rocker. But, like, this is nuts. This is actually a pleasure to watch. And we're about to find out the epic conclusion to this best of 5 series. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into game number 5. The next winner of this match goes on to the semifinals October 25th. Will it be W. Wellington on the close side, or will it be the Houston Hawluchas on the far side? The return of Necrozma, and Ivan says, this is the team. It comes down to this. It is going to be the Forge versus the Sableye. Ivan's already got this because the Moonblast is going to do a lot of damage to that Sableye. I don't think you want to Will-O-Wisp on this, although Knockoff would be nice to get rid of the Leftovers. He is going to stay in. Moonblast comes through. That is so much damage. He exchanges the utility that the Leftovers gives to the Florge in exchange to maybe take a bunch of damage on his Mega Sableye. I think he can actually switch into something like Milotic and keep the Sableye healthy here. Ivan most likely will go on the aggressive, or he could even make well, I wouldn't make an aggressive switch. I think he has a lot of pressure here, so I think Inert Fury does kind of get that free switch to another defensive Mon that can keep the Sableye safe. Because I don't think the Sableye needs to be dropping this fast. Having said that, I'm kind of curious if he's just going to try and set up with Necrozma flat out, but he doesn't instead. The Wish actually comes out. Oh my god, Ivan is already on him, going for the Wish. Now, it's not the most important thing because the Wish is not going to necessarily help anybody, but he ends up exchanging Toxics? Okay, at least he exchanges it and does get the healing up on the floor. So both these are in a bad situation, except the Milotic still has Leftovers. So, Inert Fury slightly comes out on top, but the important thing is that Milotic has been status. This helped W. Wellington so much last game. Alakazamcraft, you can find every one of these in the collection section of Twitch. I don't upload to YouTube anymore. I put everything on Twitch. So if you go to twitch.tv/PokeNoob/collections, you can find every video that you want to see for anything that you're looking for. Nuzlocke, PTCGO, ProPokeBowl is organized by season. You can get it all from there. You can take a look at it from the beginning. We're also doing rebroadcasts all the time now, so you can take a look at that. But either way, let's catch up. That Wish does come through as it takes a little bit more damage, as the Milotic is now switching to Gligar. The rocks come out. This is going to help Inert Fury a lot. I think not having those rocks up last time did allow Ivan to have a lot more flexibility and felt a lot more comfortable. Now, he is going to go for the recover, but at the same time, we've seen this before. It doesn't get him much. Maybe he's trying to bait him so he can get back into Gligar, but it doesn't work. Maybe he's trying to bait him so he can get into the Rotom Heat, which might make more sense here. But I also feel like maybe Ivan switched it up last time with Sludge Wave. Does he do it again? I don't know, because Inert Fury is definitely not the point. But now we've gotten to the point where game number 5, mind games are everything, knowing the patterns of the players, right? This is when it really becomes important because both of them have settled for teams. This is what's worked for the Inert Fury. This is what's worked for Ivan. Yeah, Inert Fury, Ivan. Got it. Reversed. I hate that shit. Skull comes through, does a lot of damage to Nidoking. Unfortunately, does not get the crit or anything like that. But instead, we do see the Sludge Wave coming out as predicted. But the Milotic is now going to suffer as Nidoking is going to get the kill on this. This is important, man. If he's one step closer to winning this for him. Psyedge with the 4 months. Thank you very much for the resubscription, my fellow nooblet. Appreciate your support to the channel. It is 6-5 for W Wellington. Honestly, this match has winded me. I'm out of tea. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of tea. Now we have a problem, but the Weavile is coming back in. I do think the Weavile coming back is much more useful than a Honchkrow, especially since it didn't even go for Sucker Punch. So now he does have that cleanup. Crew in the form of Weavile. Puts a lot of pressure down. And at this point, we know this thing does not have a sash, so it's probably his patented Choice Band set. I know Examcraft, it sucks, but I still have water, so everything's going to be A-okay. Hey, Jin, good to see you, man. Welcome back. We're in currently game number 5 between the two guys here. Both of them looking to go to the semis in a couple of weeks. Now, we know that he has 2 Scarfers, Terrakion, and Durant. I honestly think the Durant just it always comes out on this Weavile because Iron Head is just such a safe move that he can go for. 2 shots to save life from this point since it's damaged. Rotom Heat still gets hurt. Gligar still takes the damage at the very least. Although it can now, he can kind of freely go into the Gligar and just kind of keep trying to go for those roosts. So he is going to make that exact play. The Iron Head does come through. We know this thing has Hustle. We saw it because he missed. So he's going to go for it again. He's actually taking a little bit of risk here. He does get the flinch. If Gligar goes down, this gets a little dicey for Inert Fury. So we'll see if he actually gets it through. He does get the roost off. So both of them playing with fire here. But I think Ivan more so than Rich. But the flinch comes through again. Does he get it one more time? He does not. Oh my god. This is intense. He's got to keep his Iron Heads, though, but luckily the Gligar does go back up to full, so now he can go for an Earthquake, try and get some damage off. Instead, he gets the flinch yet again. Ivan, praying to the Hax God, says, does it? Bless RNG. Is he going to get it? He does it. The triple flinch does not come through. It is a best of 5, Jin. He gets the flinch again. This is insane. Does he flinch? No way. Oh! Anybody count how many flinches happened in that entire string of turns? Wow. Yikes. Gets it, though. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone who says Pokemon is competitive, you're a fool, as he actually stays in. Reading the Volt Switch, I guess? Knows he's not going to get... Oh, man, he takes it. But here's the thing. Everything's got to take some damage here from the Durant. This is... Oh, man, this is bad for Hawluchas. Something's going to have to switch in and maybe switch it back to the Rotom Heat, taking the damage, which means close combat from Terrakion will be able to take it out. The Gligar, he could hope for a miss, but it doesn't happen. Hustle paying dividends here. Scarf Durant with Hustle, ladies and gentlemen, not missing that. It's a 92... Oh, actually, it's an 80% accurate Iron Head, by the way. Unreal. But Rotom Heat can come in. He misses the Iron Head finally, as Durant goes to rest and says, I did my job this tournament. I tried my best. Didn't get it. It's down. But Necrozma's looking to set up now. This becomes interesting. Terrakion is Scarfed. Does it have X-Scissor? We haven't seen it. We've seen Stone Edge. He's missed a bunch of Stone Edges, though. Is this the curse of the 80%? Is this just looking too good for W. Wellington? He knows he has to put as much pressure down as Necrozma as possible. Once it's at the +2, though, he doesn't really have an answer to it. At the same time, though, Shaman's still full health, so he can come in, probably go for a hit, kill it off. And then from there, Weavile's got to look to win. That's pretty much it, right? If Weavile doesn't win... Oh, he misses it again. Third time is not the charm, as he's actually just going to lose it to a straight Psyshock. So that's going to be really useful for Inert Fury. Just incredible hacks in this match. But Shaman's now going to come out. Says, I outspeed. I can do some damage. But how much damage is Shaman going to take back? Unless he's going to get some super mega crit from Seed Flare. It is an expert belt Shaman, so it's not going to be able to take out the Necrozma in one shot, I don't think. He's going to make the switch into his Rotom Heat. We'll see what the Seed Flare does. It does get a crit and Spadef drop, but that doesn't matter. He can just go for the overheat here. Even if the Flourish comes in, I actually think that, you know, maybe something like the Mega Sableye can come out and maybe... No, it won't outspeed, so it would have to be Necrozma coming back in. But I do think, without rocks, Inert Fury is still feeling a little safe here. Maybe you can just go for the Overheat or even just go for Volt Switch if he wants to get them better advantage. He does have Psyshock on that Necrozma, which will hit the Florge really hard. He's got a couple options. You can just go straight aggressive. Instead, Wellington stays in. He is playing these mind games phenomenally, which means something's got to take a Seed Flare. This is going to hurt. Sableye does come in. The Dazzling Gleam comes through. Jesus, this man, at least he's using the right moves to take stuff out that he predicts with the Volt Switch. This is incredible. I like this. This is Ivan from the first half of Season 3. This is amazing. Now, the Iron Head flinches. It's Pokemon. He's amazing. He did it. But he's also playing it out very, very well. Both players have been playing it out to the max. It is 3-3. If you want a closer Game 5, you don't look at this series. This series is incredibly close. I don't think you can outdo this so far. And I don't think we would have gotten this from our other series tonight between the 3rd and 6th seed. So, which we will talk about after this series. But for now, this is about W. Wellington and the Houston Hawluchas trying to get into the semifinals. Weavile comes in. It's faster. Knockoff is abound. I think Florge is the switch. Ice Cold Crash could come out. That would really hurt, actually, the Florge. And if it gets through with that, you might be able to see him take it out in the end. That Scarf Rotom is still alive. If Ice Cold Crash does enough damage to the Manaphy, maybe gets a flinch off? I don't know. But I think Knockoff is the answer here. Kills the Shaman for sure. Kills the... it does enough damage to the Florge to make it weak. Did it lose its item? It did lose its item earlier. So, wow, Florge even gets even more value here. But it makes me also think that Ice Cold Crash is going to be even more likely the option. Does Ivan go... Oh, man. Does he go for Manaphy and, like, just pray to God? I think after Rocks, it might be a 2-hit. I don't know. Knockoff comes through. He lives? A Seaflower comes through, gets the crit. It takes out the Weavile. Oh, no way. Rotom Heat comes in. The Necrozma can still take out the Florge, though, so it's not over for the Inert Fury. He's still got Scarf Rotom. Necrozma comes in. It comes down to this. Can Manaphy live enough damage to set up and kill Necrozma? I think with Rain, or the +3, it took it out and is faster. Oh, man. I expected that Knockoff to kill unless that was a low roll. Because that's a choice band. That definitely is his choice band Weavile. That didn't kill the Shaman. 2-2. Sweeper staring at each other right now. What does Ivan go for? He's done it before. He's done it himself. Has he taken this to the semifinals? Or does a crit end this whole thing and just ruin it? Was Seaflower not a kill on Weavile? Is this Danman versus Diego in Season 2? No, I'm kidding. We're not gonna reopen wounds. Either way, though. Makes me think back to Game 1. This could have been over. Alakazam, thank you very much for the host. Appreciate it, man. This is definitely not intense enough. Can we not do this? Wait. Thank you. Luchadors have the opportunity to kind of count this out. Autotomize allows him to potentially sweep if Ivan goes for... Because I don't know if Psyshock actually kills. So if he goes for Autotomize, he might have to go for the double thing. Maybe think that Ivan might go for Waterium Z. He's definitely calculating if Waterium Z stock Surf kills him. But Manaphy's going to go for it. He's going for the Rain Dance. Here we go. Does he set up? He instead goes for the Psyshock. It is enough damage. If Surf doesn't kill from here, Inert Fury can take this by just going for Trick on that Florge. Does it kill from here? I can't remember. I think it did. It doesn't! Psyshock comes through, takes out the Manaphy. Ivan predicts wrong, potentially, and Florge is going to come in. It's going to try and kill, but the Z move, Corkscrew Smash, puts literally the final nail in the coffin. And ladies and gentlemen, your first semifinalist out of corners, Houston Hawluchas. What a game. What a move. Oh my god. Steelium Z? Okay, that's definitely not predicted. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, Houston Haluchas in a 3-2 fashion will take his way into the semifinals. But let's give credit where credit is due. That was a series that heavily went beyond my expectations. I expected a 3-1 both ways. I said in my pre-show yesterday, if Wellington figured out the way to win, that was definitely the way for him to get in, and he almost did it. He almost made it through. It came down to that Manaphy if it had enough damage, and it turns out that Necrozma was bulky enough that it was able to take this Rain Surf. Was bulky enough to begin with even without the Surf. It almost makes me feel like if those rocks didn't exist, if you actually think about it, the rocks won him that game. At 46 and then maybe another 46% hit, he would have lived with nothing. So having that Gligar set up before it was hacked out to death with Ironhead, it went down. And I agree, Ivan, that was played out as good as it could have been. And it came down to that, and this is Steelium Z being literally that final cork in the finisher there. Very interesting to note, though, because now Arizona Articunos, the worst part about this whole win for either of these players, like literally the whole win for both these players. Oh, Hydro Vortex and Crozma. That's a good point, Diego. Would that have killed? Maybe. Ooh. That would have been a good point. I keep thinking of Watcharium Z just being for rain dance. I always get confused with the Z moves because I'm not used to using Z stones, so I forget that it can actually use Hydro Vortex. If it was a kill, well, it came down to that, but it's too late now either way. But it would have, but it was faster. Oh, it was faster though. Cause cause technically would have. Well, either way, we won't talk about that. What we're gonna talk about is what the Arizona Articunos have learned. There are a lot of things that Inert Fury had to reveal tonight to the Arizona Articunos that he can kind of look at his. Gotta kind of look at his team and be like, well, I know a few things. Rotom Heat is scarfed, and he's got to bring that all the way through. We know that Ice Shard is on that Mega Glalie. We know that we see Dragon Tail on the Milotic. We see all these interesting things that, you know, are slightly different from what we saw in the regular season, but we still see it. Those same old reliable Pokemon were there for Inert Fury. Played out his strat as we expected. I honestly feel like, let's put it into perspective here, right? This could have been over a game early, right? Think about it this way. If Ivan had kept the same team game 4, that was his. If Rich had not clicked Dragon Tail instead of... If he had clicked Scald instead of Dragon Tail game 1, this should have been the 3-1. Right? So, in the end, both of them kind of losing a little bit of pressure in a couple of those games, but played out to the very end, and that's what we want to see from both these players, the reason why they are in the playoffs. And even though Ivan will not be the champion of this one, we just see continuous growth coming out of his draft. We see continuous success coming out from him, and we're excited to see what he's going to be doing if he does join us in Season 4. With that, ladies and gentlemen, though, that is the end of our first best of 5. The second best of 5, unfortunately, is not going to be happening. The Ottawa Centers did not show up, and it's really sucky. I really hate this. But the New York Nidoran Male is going to move through. And this actually works worse for Diego, because he gets to see nothing from the New York Nidoran Male, so he's kind of going into this blind, which is a bit of a low shot, but yeah, this gets a little tricky, and we don't have a protocol for what happens in this, because usually people make it to the playoffs are 1, consistent, and 2, things like that, but at the same time, I'm not replanning it because this was the time, and I was over an hour late tonight. So, well, technically he is disqualified, Diego, because, I mean, he's losing. But with that, though, we have our semifinals, which will be happening October 25th. at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Not 8:30, 7 p.m. So we will be starting. Hopefully that night we will not have any computer issues. I apologize against that anyways. But that's our semifinals. And if we take a look at these, you know what? There's like literally nothing I can say. Because the Arizona Articunos and the Houston Holuchas didn't play during the regular season. And we saw the LA Legends 2-0 New York Nidoran males, but now we have no idea what he brought. So we can't even predict based off his sets if he would even stand up against the standard sets of the LA Legends, right? Well, no, because you told Mitchie that it was at 7 tonight, and he said you got confused, so that's why I'm emphasizing it. Technically, a lot of people were late tonight, even though I was late too. Except my lateness was completely unpreventable because my computer wouldn't turn on. So, yeah, I said 25th at 7 p.m. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our semifinals. We will be doing both the semifinals and the finals in. So just for extra information for you guys in case you don't know much about the ProPokeBowl, they still cannot change their sets. So whatever you saw tonight from the Houston Holuchas, you will see again in the semifinals. That's all they have. That's what they have to work with. And at the first seed and the second seed are not allowed to change their teams. Whatever they put in today are the teams that they have to have. So I'm very excited, though. If that's going to be the type of games that we can have in this playoffs, it's going to be super incredible. But thank you very much for joining me tonight at the quarterfinals. We will see you again in a couple of weeks, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys have been fantastic. Your support is phenomenal. And like I've said, we've already kind of planned a Season 4 somewhere to start next year around January time after Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon has been going through. In terms of VODs, what we will be doing, I don't know what we're going to do next Wednesday. Probably might have you know what, let me check. It would have to be a night stream because I've sort of, let me just check my schedule really quickly. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be having, on off time, still playing through all of the ProPokeBowl stuff just to continuously advertise it. Because I didn't realize, like, there's over 26 hours of content in it. So let's see. Just put in something. I set up physiotherapy as well. At 1 o'clock. Yeah, so it will be a night stream. I don't know what we're going to do during it. We'll probably just do something else with it, but it might be even talk about, I don't know. I can't plan that far ahead for streams. I usually just I just usually wake up and, hey, what do I want to stream today? And go from there. But thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate that, man. I try my best, even if I prematurely GG half the time. But, yeah, we'll figure something out, but you will be able to watch the VODs during the EU time, which just means a little bit earlier for Eastern time. But until then, we will see you if you show up for the ProPokeBowl. We'll see you in 2 weeks to see who will be taking home the Championship Cup for Season 3. Until then, have an excellent night, and peace.